Hello friends, now this is the third lecture. Now our friend William Orville Douglas is in the pool struggling for his life. Now first let's see the main words, expressions and so on. Summoned all my courage means gathered all my courage. When I saw a devil, I summoned all my courage to fight with him. With him, understand? Summoned and gathered. Bob to the surface means suddenly come up to the surface. Suddenly bounce back, we can say, bob up. The other day my friend threw me into the river, but I bobbed up. Bobbed up means I came up with my quick coming up. Yellow tinge means yellow color. Yellow color. Sometimes you will find water has an yellow tinge. Why? Because this small yellowish water, you can say, slightly yellowish water. Sometimes you will find the water has yellowish or yellow tinge because of some, it may be because of pollution, or it may be because somebody has put some color into it. Understand? And then grab a rope means seize, catch hold of a rope. And when I fell from the terrace of my building, there was a rope, I grabbed on it. So on the side, the rope was hanging, I grabbed on that. Or sometimes when you fall from trees, you grab on branches. And I was spending my strength, spending all my strength, When I was in the exam hall, I was expending all my strength, spending all my energy to answer all the questions. And then shrieking means screaming, a piercing sound, When I saw, or when we see witches at night, we will shriek. That's or suppose you are going on a trekking program and you find a tiger, then you will shriek. That is expressing your fear, terrible fear. I think that's okay. Now you come to today's highlights. You will find a whole lot of vocabulary expressing struggling water. The struggle for survival, water, all around me, water, my struggle to overcome. So that is, in this section, this is only one point, the struggle. The struggle Douglas is making to come out of the pool. Because he was thinking, he was frightened, he was panicky, and he was thinking that he is almost lost. Now you can see a whole lot of words that are used for such kind of things and such situation, and you can also do that in your life. I just read out: suffocating, yelling out, legs paralyzed, rigid, screaming, fighting as in a nightmare, breathless, lungs ached, head throbbed, getting dizzy, seized by sheer stark terror, shrieking, screams frozen, jumping with all his might, looking for ropes, ladders, water wings, stark terror like a great charge of electricity, took hold, shook and trembled with the fright, hands wouldn't move, legs wouldn't move, called for a rope for mother, nothing happened. So this is what is happening in this section of this lesson, struggle. And as I told you, a whole lot of words to express that. We are going to see that in context. Not very difficult because there are no difficult words also. There is one word here, flail. Flail means, you are moving a wild movement on the surface of the water. Violently you are moved to this side and that side. That's called flail. I flailed means I was moving violently from side to side. That is flail. Yes, if you don't know how to swim, then if you jump into water, you will flail. There is another way out. Because the force of the water will throw you to this side, left side, right side, like that. So that is called flailing. And so let's see. But when my feet hit bottom, I summoned all my strength and made what I thought was a great spring upwards. So he was in his mind, he was thinking in his mind, the moment I reach the bottom, I will spring like this. See that? Then I can come up. That's what he was thinking, but he had no experience. I imagined I would bob to the surface. Bob means come up suddenly to the surface like a cork. Instead, I came up slowly. I opened my eyes and saw nothing but water. Water that had an yellow tinge, yellowish tint to it. I grew panicky. Panicky means uncontrollable fear. That is panicky means. When you can see when police lathis are, people will become panicky. They will run here helter skelter. I reached up as if to grab a rope, and hands clutched only water. Cracking like this, but then water, only water inside. I was suffocating, difficulty in breathing. I tried to yell out, shout, but no sound came out. Then my eyes and nose came out of the water. Eyes and nose came out, but not mouth. Because in water, what do? You inhale through your mouth, like this. Exhaling, of course, but inhaling not through the nose, but through the mouth. Yes. So the mouth is still in water. I flailed at the surface of the water. Flailed, moved this side and that side. Flailed surface of the water. I tried to bring my legs up, but they hung as dead weights, paralyzed and rigid. So my legs became stiff. A great force was pulling me under. I screamed, shrieked, but only the water heard me. Nobody else can hear. Nobody was there. See that no water god was there. No water goddess was there to hear this. I heard, nobody heard me. I had started on the long journey back to the bottom of the pool. Instead of coming up and going by, I struck at the water, like this. As I went down, expending my strength, spending all my strength, as one in a nightmare fights an irresistible force. Some days it happens in a nightmare, means very bad dreams, terror dreams are there. What is it? You're fighting like this, like that. So you spend all your energy. Or you think that a force that cannot be resisted is fighting with you in your dream. And you spend all your energy. I had lost all my breath, unable to breathe. My lungs ached, pain. My head throbbed, was just like the pinprick. When you have pinprick, it's a throbbing pain. So like that, my head throbbed. I was getting dizzy. My head was going round and round. That is fainting almost. But I remembered the strategy. What is the strategy? I had the plan, the action plan. I would spring from the bottom of the pool and come like a cork to the surface. So that is the strategy that he remembered. He thought that sitting, he'd spring like that. I would lie flat on the water, strike out with my arms and thrash with my legs. Thrash means beating with my legs. I would get to the edge of the pool and be safe. So this was my strategy. I went down endlessly. I opened my eyes, nothing but water. With yellow glow, that is yellow tinge, dark water. That one cannot see through. You cannot see through this pool water because it is this still water and most probably it will be dark. And then sheer, stark terror seized me. Sheer means naked, stark. Sheer means only, but here it could mean naked, stark terror seized me. Terror that knows no understanding. Terror that knows no control. Terror that no one can understand who has not experienced it. So this cannot be expressed. There are no words for that. No, I cannot express what kind of a terror it was because I was almost getting drowned. I'm going to get, I thought, a passport and also visa together to heaven or to hell, depending on my deeds. I thought like that. So terror. See that terror how? And then sheer stark terror seized me. Sheer stark terror means only terror, nothing else. It is not It is not mixed with anything else. Sometimes, when you are when you are under terror, there will be some mixed with some hope that after 2 or 3 minutes this will disappear. Suppose you are standing in front of a tiger and the tiger is coming towards you, and then you are really terror will you will be caught by terror. I say, agree. But suddenly if you hear somebody shooting the tiger, then the terror disappears. This is not the case here. It is sheer, stark terror. Of what kind of terror is that? That's what he is explaining. He said that terror that so far I have never seen, I have never experienced in life. That is it. So he says, I sheer, stark terror. I was getting dizzy and dark surface, I would lie flat, etc. I thought. I would get to the edge and I will escape, I thought. I went down endlessly. I opened my eyes. Nothing but water, yellow glow, dark water that one could not see through. And then sheer stark terror seized me. Terror that knows no understanding. I could not explain, I could not understand it. Terror that knows no control, beyond all my control. Terror that no one can understand who has not experienced it. Only a person, if you suppose you have never experienced a headache in your life. Somebody comes and says, oh, my head is aching. You will not understand it. Why? Because you have never experienced that. Same thing, a person who has never experienced a hunger, see that, never felt hungry in his life. There are many people like that, overeating people. If somebody comes and tells him, sir, these 4 days I have eaten anything, please give me 1 rupee. He said, what? You are not eaten. You remember the French king said, people went to the king and said that King Louis XIV, I think so. He said, sir, we have no bread. Then the king said, why do you eat bread? You eat cake. Because the king was only up to that level. He had never heard of bread. He said, why should you eat bread? You eat cake. Because he has never experienced such a situation. In the same way, if you have not experienced a situation like this, that is a fear, stark sheer fear, a fear that cannot be controlled, that is fear that cannot be, that there is no understanding. Fear you have not experienced. I won't be able to explain that. Cannot understand at all, he says. So sheer fear, experience it. I was shrieking under the water, shouting, screaming, crying at the top of my head, the piercing sound. See, I was paralyzed under water, stiff, rigid with fear. Even the screams in my throat were frozen. No sound came out. Imagine, only my heart and the pounding in my head, throbbing in my head, said that I was still alive. And then, in the midst of the terror, came a touch of reason. Suddenly, as the strategy, I once again remembered. I must remember to jump when I hit the bottom. At last, I felt the tiles under me. My toes reached out as if to grab them and seize them, take hold of them. I jumped with everything I had, but the jump made no difference. The water was still around me. I looked for ropes, ladders, water wings. Nothing but water. Mass of yellow water held me. Stark terror took me even deeper. It took even deeper hold on me, like a great charge of electricity. It was like a thunder. This mass of water, it hit me, it held me, and it was like a charge of electricity, a great charge of electricity. I shook and trembled with fright. My hands wouldn't move, my legs wouldn't move. I tried to call for Rob, to call for mother. Nothing happened. Imagine those moments, how he has expressed that. See the words that he has used. So in this section there is nothing else but the struggle. The struggle of Douglas in his younger days. See, as a boy, how he fell into, or thrown in, tossed in by that bruiser that tough boy, rough and tough guy, through and the suffering that he is undergoing. He is panicky, he is shrieking, he is screaming, terror and all those things. See, now questions today also is simple for you. What is the strategy he remembered? You remember, I remembered the strategy. What is the strategy? To spring from the bottom of the pool and come like a cork to the surface. Then he thought I would lie flat on the water, then strike out with my arms and thrash with my legs. I would get to the edge of the pool and be safe. So the strategy is spring from water. What's of no use. Then what is the touch of reason that came to him? The touch of reason that he said, I had to jump when I hit the bottom. So his head was throbbing, lost his breath, legs rigid and paralyzed. His body, head was throbbing already. Then, even then, there was a silver line, so to say, in the clouds. And that is, he thought like this, that I must remember to jump. As soon as I touch the bottom, I should jump. Because when there's bottom, there is some solid ground in it. So from there you can, the other is water. Bottom, the tiles, when your feet touch the tiles, then you can spring from there. See, he thought like that. So that is his touch of reason. In spite of all this. Then give a brief description and his struggle for survival. Here it is. I will read out once again for you. Suffocating, yelling out, legs paralyzed, rigid, screaming, fighting as in a nightmare, breathless, lungs ached, head throbbed, getting dizzy, seized by sheer stark terror, shrieking, screams, his screams frozen, jumping with all his might, looking up, looking for ropes, ladders, water wings, stark terror, like a great charge of electricity, took hold on him. This horror or terror shook and trembled with fright. Hands wouldn't move, legs wouldn't move, and called for rope, called for mother, but nothing. Bye. Have a nice day.